Hello everybody, I'm Max. If you're new to the channel, I make videos about personal development, finance, and productivity. If that sounds like something you may be interested in, please consider subscribing. Have you ever wanted to start something but felt like it just wasn't the perfect moment? Maybe you wanted to do something new. Learn to play the guitar, start exercising, hitting the like button. Or maybe you wanted to release something you've been working on to the public. A song, an app, a YouTube video. Maybe it was something as simple as going to bed earlier. But in the end, you never did it. You wanted to do it, but you just knew that it was better to wait until tomorrow. And you came up with dozens of reasons for why it was a good idea to wait, to put it off, to procrastinate. You started thinking to yourself that tomorrow you'd have more energy to start exercising. Tomorrow, you'd have more time to read that book. And tomorrow, you'd finish making your product perfect and it would finally be ready to be released. But tomorrow never arrived. Tomorrow always stays as just that, tomorrow. And tomorrow never becomes today. So you keep putting off what you know you should be doing today, and you wait for another day. And slowly but surely the days pass. You don't notice it until suddenly months or years have gone by and you're in the same place you were when you were thinking of starting. We've all done it. Procrastination is the first obstacle that any one of us faces when we want to start something new. We look for excuses not to start and then put it off until some moment in the future that never comes. Procrastination is also the last obstacle we face before launching anything. This time, it's in the form of seeking perfection. By convincing ourselves that whatever we're working on still isn't ready because it's not perfect, we give ourselves permission to never put it out there. So, why do we procrastinate on things that we actually want to do? Procrastination is a complicated subject, and there are many reasons for why people procrastinate. But I found that, at least for me, there are three main reasons for procrastinating. The first reason is not having clear enough objectives. Something like start exercising is extremely vague. What does that even mean? Are you going to lift weights? Go out for a walk? Are you going to play football? And when are you going to do it? Every day? Once a week? At what time? Where? Defining goals like this is setting yourself up for failure. The second reason we procrastinate is because of perfectionism and a fear of failure. I found there are two problems with perfectionism. One problem is that it can keep you from starting because you're trying to do everything flawlessly from the beginning. The other problem with perfectionism is that it can keep you from ever finishing a project by going over it indefinitely, trying to make it perfect. Aiming for perfection is going to hold you back from achieving your goals. The third reason we procrastinate is indecisiveness. The more choices we have, the harder it is to make a decision. Having too many options can cause us to develop a case of analysis paralysis. I've had this happen to me even when playing video games. Whenever I had to create a character and choose a name, I would spend hours trying to come up with a perfect name that I liked and wasn't taken. In the end, sometimes I wouldn't even start playing because I couldn't come up with a name. Indecisiveness is especially strong when we're making a decision that is important to us and when its consequences are permanent. These are the three most common reasons I found for my own procrastination. Everybody is different and your case may differ from mine, but it's very likely that your reasons for procrastinating will fall into one of these three categories. Now that we know why we procrastinate, we can begin tackling the question of how to stop doing it. The course of action we must take will depend on the reason for why we're procrastinating. If the reason you procrastinate is because you set unclear goals for yourself, what you should be doing instead is setting SMART goals. SMART stands for specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-bound. Specific means having a well-defined and detailed goal. Measurable refers to having a quantifiable objective so that we can know when we've reached it. Attainable means that the goal is something you can realistically achieve. Relevant means that the goal is worthwhile to you. And time-bound means that there's a specific due date. So instead of setting a goal like start exercising, a better goal would be something like go to the gym every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday before work and run on the treadmill for at least 5 miles. The first goal is too vague. You don't know what you should be doing or when. You also don't know when you have achieved your goal. The second goal is much more actionable. You know what you have to do, when and where, as well as knowing when you've reached your objective. If instead your problem is perfectionism, the first thing you must do is accept the fact that nothing will ever be done 100% perfect. There's nothing we can do about that. Everything that exists in the universe has some amount of flaw in it. We're all imperfect, except my wife. She's perfect. If a perfectionist mindset is keeping you from starting something, you need to realize that it's better to have something with flaws than to not have anything at all. You can always improve it later on. But if you don't have anything, then there's nothing to work from. When I start writing a script for a new YouTube video, I always aim at making a full script as fast as possible, not worrying about all the flaws it has. I know that once I have that basis to work from, I can improve it as much as I want afterwards. If perfectionism is keeping you from releasing something to the public, you have to ask yourself what are the consequences of releasing your work in its current state, and what are the consequences of never releasing it at all. The cost of not releasing your work will always be higher. Another thing you can do in this situation is to get the opinion of someone else you can trust who will be honest with you. We are usually the biggest critics of our work. Having someone else's feedback can help you realize whether your work is ready to go public or whether it still needs more work. Finally, if the reason for your procrastination is being indecisive, there are a few things you can do to put the odds in your favor. For starters, if you have too many options, you should eliminate as many as you can. The less options you have to choose from, the easier it will be to make a decision. Get rid of all of the options that don't make sense or that don't meet your requirements. Once you've reduced the number of options you have, I would suggest going with your gut feeling. Out of all of the options that are left, which one stands out to you the most? What does your instinct tell you to do? The first answer you come up with is usually right. Don't overthink it. Trust your instinct. If you still can't decide, maybe the options you have left are too similar among each other. If there's not much of a difference between your options, it doesn't really matter which one you choose. Just pick one. A trick that might help is to spin a coin. If the result that comes out doesn't bother you, then go with that. If you're disappointed with the outcome of the spin, then that's your cue to go with the other option. This is just another way of going with your gut feeling. I made this video as much for me as for anybody else, to force myself to finally start this channel and to remind myself that it's okay to not be perfect. Also, to remind myself that I shouldn't be procrastinating and to remember that we all have the tools needed to stop. I hope you found something useful and that you'll start putting it in practice in your life. That was all for this video. Thank you for watching all the way until the end. I really appreciate it. Let me know down in the comments what other things you do to overcome procrastination. Also, don't forget to smash the like button, and if you want to see more videos like this, remember to subscribe and hit the bell icon. I'll see you next week. Bye!